In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. We've been talking about how God put together institutions, governmental authorities to establish laws to put bounds around the behavior of people who don't walk with God, people who follow the leading of the evil one, people who behave in an evil way. We got to have some bounds around them for the sake of others, and so God put these governmental authorities together. They may not follow the commandments of God, but they would follow the law of the land just so they wouldn't be locked up. Remember, I told you, Cheryl and I ministered in prisons, and we saw many people who are experiencing the consequences of evil behavior. And God didn't want them to have that evil behavior, so He established these institutions so that those who do behave in that way can be limited in that evil behavior. Well, Paul ends that discussion with this in verse 8. He who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the law. So, do you want to not have trouble with those institutions? Then obey the law. How do you obey the law? Oh, you just operate in love. We're going to read verses 9 and 10 today that really emphasize this. We're in Romans chapter 13, and verse 9 says, look, this loving your neighbor thing, for this you shall not commit adultery. You shall not murder. You shall not steal. You shall not covet. Now that should be common stuff. You should understand that without any trouble. I understand. Those are some of the 10 commandments. That's just common behavior for those who would operate not in an evil way. Well, if there is any other commandment, it is summed up in this one saying. Now, are you listening? All the laws, all the commandments, they are summed up in, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. See, prefer your neighbor to yourself in a way that it's the love of God flowing through you so that you would do them no harm. Verse 10 says that love does no wrong to a neighbor. And so, love is the fulfillment of the law. See, you say yes to Jesus, receive the love of God, that you would be filled up even to overflowing, so that the love of God comes through you for the sake of others. Now, you don't have to worry and fear the governmental authorities because they're for those who are operating in an evil way, following the evil one, instead of those of us who've been filled with the love of God because we trust in Jesus and we're letting that love of God flow for the sake of others. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I'll see you then.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.